You're seeing the title screen. We got tons of stories and updates to get through today, my friends, so I can't afford to waste no time with the intro. Very quickly though, shout out to Simon Phillips for providing me access to his Substack, which allowed me to discuss some of the articles in today's reports. I highly recommend if you guys want to get up to date, behind the scoops information on our transfer policy right now, Simon Phillips is that guy, and you'll find a link above and below to his Substack link. So shout out to Simon Phillips for giving me access, and let's tackle today's latest reports. For the first interesting story, it does seem like we have already held conversations with Eze's agent. Now, I don't want you guys getting maybe too gassed or carried away just yet. I'm going to explain why, but it is interesting that we are holding talks now with offensive players. I think the news is pretty common, it's pretty apparent. We want to end this window with at least 9 attacking players from Maresca to choose from. You have to see it like this. Pre-season prep will be affected. We're going to compete for every silverware tournament and the league collectively, so you need to have a bigger and better and stronger squad. That seems to be the strategy that every big club right now is following. So having around 9 attacking players to choose from could be the thing that safeguards us going into what's set to be a very difficult and demanding season ahead, right? So that's the context to consider behind why we are targeting one more big attacking player. But to give you guys even more insight, don't forget that these are only talks. Talks don't mean anything concrete is confirmed. They're exploratory. You want to see where the player's head's at. Is there a chance a deal could happen if maybe possibilities open up in our favor or situations open up in our favor? That's how it works. As we know, Arsenal are paying a lot of attention on Eze, but he's currently protected by a 68 million release clause. Now, you'd imagine that Palace want that money paid up front in one go, unless we can maybe structure a deal to maybe break that payment down over years, or maybe offer players in separate deals in exchange to bring down the entire thing in both clubs' accounting books. That could be another possibility, but I guess we keep our heads up on Eze. How do you guys feel about him? Of course, if you guys remember, 2 months ago, reports had come out suggesting that he does have a lot of admirers here, so he's clearly someone that is on our shortlist. That can't be forgotten. But another interesting player too is none other than Xavi Simons from RB Leipzig. Now, at the moment, he is desperate to leave right now. We learned of really interesting reports that Barcelona's Deco had held conversations with Simons' representatives, and interestingly, one of his reps, which is also his older brother, is also super agent and Ali Barrett, the guy who brokered the Moises Caicedo deal, a guy who has a really strong connection with our football club. Now, the context for that Barca report was that Barca don't have the funds or the finances, but obviously they still want to hold conversations to explore certain possibilities because situations open up in the window. That's how the game works. So this is kind of the context behind what is going on right now. Xavi Simons is another player alongside Eze who can play across multiple different attacking positions, midfields, across the attack, I guess. But you know what, this is where I want to share my personal opinions, because I'm a bit maybe confused by this particular profile, right? I think Eze, I think Simons, they're more comparable to your Nkunkus and Felixes. When João Pedro was kind of getting lazily compared to those, what I was thinking, no, he's not the same type of player. That comparison don't really work. But Simons and Co do. And I just think to myself, what would be the possible attacking balance, right? Especially with this amount of money you're paying, because I don't want these guys playing on the left flank. Listen, we've seen Maresca experiment with like maybe Palmer at times playing on the left flank. For them times where maybe one of the fullbacks is going to provide that width. So I can understand the thinking behind that. But going for like a specialized player that is more suited to playing centrally, right, compared to operating out wide, I don't know, it feels a bit too niche for me, considering we have like your Palmers and Enzos and Santoses plus all the other attacking wingers we have in the team right now. I think the club are just exploring possibilities to see what happens. I'll be really surprised actually if efforts for Eze really just like stepped up even more. But listen, I think Crystal Palace are thinking Eze probably is leaving. If he's gonna go, let's try and broker this deal ASAP, because we need to invest into ourselves. We need to find replacements. Time is running out for us. Arsenal are kind of delaying things right now with their moves for Gyökeres and other priorities. Yeah, we don't have any time to waste. So what's your thoughts and opinions? You heard mine. I don't really see it, even though they're both amazing players that I like. But I just feel like with the construction of the squad right now, I'd rather go for a profile, yeah, that can operate more effectively in the wide areas. But that's only my take. Share your thoughts and opinions, because right now, let's discuss the other latest reports surrounding a player that I'm sure you guys in the fan base are kind of loving right now, and that's Morgan Rogers. Now, currently, my friends, reports are coming out suggesting that we see Morgan Rogers as one of the key targets we are hoping to push for, yeah, before the window closes. Let's watch out for this story. Now, the Sun are the ones to kind of break this report first, but let's be serious. It's kind of common knowledge that there's long-standing interest in Morgan Rogers. The Man City connection is there. The Joe Chills connection is there. Every connection is there right now. They report that Villa won around 80 million. I told you guys before that they were hoping for offers around 90 million, which is just way too much money. But one thing that Matt Law revealed recently, which I've already discussed, is that if Nico Jackson was possibly going to Aston Villa in a separate deal, with Villa making the first move, you can imagine that we're going to straight away try to make efforts on Morgan Rogers. Now, there was some reports around Nico Jackson recently. Let's kind of focus on it at the moment, suggesting that the club value him at 100 million. But I kind of feel like a lot of times when I cover reports, man, people not misrepresent purposefully, but kind of misrepresent the context. When Chelsea said 100 million, that wasn't because he is valued at that. It's because they feel like he has the potential to be a 100 million player, which basically means, listen, if you think you can buy him for 50 million, yeah, rest of the market, all you clubs showing interest in Nico right now, best believe there's going to be more money involved to sign him from us. Now, you can make the argument for you Nico Jackson fans, and listen, I think he deserves to have support. I think he is a very good player. You can make the argument that why did we sign Liam Delap if the club value Nico this high? Surely him and Joao Pedro could be perfect, right? And was Delap necessarily needed? But I think it's a bit of like a marketing ploy and push from Chelsea to be able to just try and, you know, maybe sign a comparable striker for less. They believe in a bit more than Nico, whilst also earning massive money for his potential sale. So as we know, Unai Emery, Aston Villa, long-standing interest. But the only thing longing things out right now is Aston Villa's FFP situation, because we know that they were fined alongside us for breaching FFP rules in the Champions League. At the moment, Aston Villa also have tensions from the Premier League. They've sold the women's team to themselves, but right now they're actively wanting to maybe push out the sales of an Emi Martinez, maybe even Ollie Watkins, Leon Bailey, players who are bankable stars that could allow them to kind of just safeguard the mess they find themselves in. But if for some reason they struggle to offload any of these talents in time, then naturally Morgan Rogers could be someone they are forced to sell for ridiculous money. And I kind of think this is the situation we hope emerges. If you're asking me, I would not be surprised if Rogers was like the final big money move of the window, because it's like, okay, this is the guy that you wait for. You wait to see the situation at Aston Villa. Once things are going against them, that's when you strike, that's when you make your move, and that's when you try to push this signing on. I told you guys a few weeks back, Rogers obviously would love to play for us. He wants to come play with his boy and Palmer and the rest, and he believes that the left flank would be his position, and I think that would be the most sense for him, because listen, he suits playing more that wide role as well as playing in those central areas, and that is the profile we need, that type of dribbling Maverick style player. Yeah, this is why I'd probably go for him over Eze and Simmons right now. Listen, my favorite target would be Yildiz. I'm hoping we start seeing some reports and links coming back. Yeah, he would be my main guy. But at the same time, I kind of respect that. Listen, we got Kenda coming through the bits at the under-21 championship. When he comes through, he is not going to be getting pity minutes next season, is he? So that's the latest surrounding Morgan Rogers. You lot share your thoughts and opinions on the story right now. But now let's discuss the 2 final stories emerging. And we have some more updates on Jarrell HATO. Now, it's official. We have made inquiries. We've made inquiries to Ajax for his services. I spoke about the rumors before. There's still like the main rumors that are giving us a bit of context around the valuation. Ideally, Ajax are inflating things around 60 M's. It seems like more clubs are more inclined to pay around 40 million euros for his services, which makes more sense, right? HATO wants to sign for us. He's agreed to a move. He feels like we're the best club for his development. We're very young, we're very exciting, and of course the role that he'd play in would really complement his entire game, because he's more than just a classical style player. This guy is extremely technical. This guy is really strong playing in the final thirds, especially when he's making those underlapping runs, releasing his wide teammates. Yeah, this is the type of Gavardio style player that you don't get too many of at this level in the game, right? He's got tons of experience for his age. He is not the finished article, but we aren't signing the finished article. We're signing someone with superb promise and potential. And I really stress, he is like a Gavardio mode-esque type of player that I think would be the perfect understudy and competition to Cucurella, who could maybe in the future make that position his own. So I'm here for this move. This is the signing that I want. I think that he comes at the right time, at the right age. I'm really excited to see what he could do under Enzo Maresca. I don't think there's like many outstanding inverted style type of players, but for me, an outstanding one is someone that has the technical abilities to play in their opponent's half in the final third. Jarrell can do that with his ability to carry, the press resistance, the line breaking passes to release teammates. He's got so many great technical aspects, and I think, listen, it's up to the coach, especially with a younger player, to fine tune and work on their game. There's a partnership, there's a relationship, and I think HATO, he would be the perfect guy to sign. So I hope this deal gets done. I want it to get sealed, and I think we're getting ever closer now to having like a 9 out of 10 squads that I think will now be ready soon to kind of have like all the foundations you need to maybe be one of the best teams in the league in the not too distant future. Esteval, Kenda, HATO, alongside your Palmers, Caicedo, Zendos, Pedros. Things are it's starting to finally make sense now. I don't know why I started, but it's starting to finally make sense after a long time. I do have another video in the works, but I want to just discuss the future of Chelsea right now. Expect to see all these things coming out next week. It takes a lot of time. I had a bit of a nightmare today. My computer gave me like the blue screen of death. I thought for a second it was over. I thought it was done, but yeah, shout out to PC Specialists and their remote team for coming through and sorting this out for me for today. But you know what? I want to hear your thoughts and opinions on HATO. Is this the guy you want to see? And if not, I mean, bro, I can't think of any other players apart from him, other than the final player, actually, that's probably worth discussing. And it seems like we turn our attentions yet again to another Man City grad. And courtesy of Phillips again, we're learning that we also made inquiries for Nico O'Reilly yet again. Now, back in January, you guys, we did make our first initial approach, which got rejected. So obviously, shout out to Simon Phillips breaking this. Everyone was kind of covering a story when he released it, so it must be saying something about the quality you can expect from his reports. Anyway, it makes perfect sense in my opinion why Nico O'Reilly could be like another alternative to HATO, because essentially you're like, okay, if we got priced out for HATO because the difference in valuation is too steep, Nico O'Reilly, the club I assume feel he would be a lot less. But the only issue is I just don't think that Man City would be so hastily ready to sell unless O'Reilly's like, listen, I want to go. I feel threatened by Nori. I feel like Gavardio's in my position. I feel like long term, I might not be able to get the minutes that I want, right? And if we're applying pressure, if Lavia's doing that, Shields, Palmer, Gittins, all his former teammates, right? I guess it gives us some leverage over future possibilities. Last season, he really emerged under Guardiola. 23 appearances, especially due to injuries, but he showed a lot of promise playing this inverted role. And I kind of feel like at the highest level, when you want to access like a particular type of player to play in your team, for me, they're kind of like the 2-in-1 guys. You don't just like maybe sign a left back who's a classic left back. Can your left back do more? Can he act? Is he like a midfield player that's playing out wide, or is he like an offensive winger that's playing out wide? They're the type of profiles and players that big clubs have the luxury to access, that offer you like more 2-3-way possibilities in a game. And I think O'Reilly's development as mainly like a box-to-box midfield player does complement playing as an inverted player for us. His ability to come inside when it's needed, the underlapping runs he can still make. I mean, look at the positions that Kukurea has taken up inside quite a lot of times. I think stylistically, profile-wise, with his height, homegrown status, the fact that he kind of gets what Maresca wants already, I see the possibilities here. And I think after the performances he put in for Man City, very promising ones. I'm not saying he played 10 out of 10. It was like, wow, incredible. He wasn't on that scale level. Otherwise, he would have been capped by England by now, right? But he definitely showcased that, you know what, this is the type of guy where if he's playing the understudy role, give him a few years, 1 or 2 seasons, you might see him doing some real things. Super versatile, front-footed player, the physicality that I'm not going to say no to add in a 6'3" guy that can get stronger and get better. Let's watch this case, but at the moment, I just can't see us signing him because I don't see why Man City want to lose out on him. He's played so much, Guardiola's a massive fan, and unless different possibilities open up, which can happen. Remember last summer where all of a sudden Joao Felix was on the menu when he wasn't even discussed or thought about until possibilities open up. So my friends, that is all the reports today. Shout out to Simon Phillips, and as I said again, you guys, if you want to sub to his Substack, you'll find the links in the card above and description. Share your thoughts on these stories, and I will catch you guys later with more videos tomorrow. Love.